My good people, welcome to EMW. I'm not at the summit of this small hill, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying my life here because if you can see, I want to talk to young people that when you set goals, make sure that you meet them, whether they are small goals or big goals. That is the only way that you can grow up and become somebody in this society. Um, there was a lot to talk about today. I wanted to talk about the environment and how it is important to have some places that are untainted, like where I am seated. I'm seated on a stone, and the the environment here is very quiet. Very few people who are around. That's why I can be able to talk about the environment here comfortably without any interference. Um, if you can see the videos that I've taken, if you look at the Kisii side of this Kenya, you will realize that we have actually um, polluted our environment by planting some exotic tree species that extract a lot of water from the ground, but we don't even realize that they also have even leaves that are very toxic. You see, nowadays, if you go to a stream and try to look for catfish or any other fish, you will not find that kind of a life because we have planted one species of eucalyptus trees that are heavy guzzlers of water. And whether it is the dry season or the wet season, they don't care. Their mission is to extract nutrients and water from the soil, leaving it bare. But if you look at where I am seated and the place at my back, there are very few trees that are here, and it's kind of a grassland. If you can have a glance of what I'm viewing, what you see at the back of this video is a very beautiful environment because he who created trees and animals in the earth knew what was supposed to be where and why it was to be there. So most of these trees that we have imported, some from South Africa, others from India. Originally, these trees are from Australia. That is their native uh, ecological zone. But if you look at Australia, Australia is a desert. Most of the parts in Australia are desert. And these trees were imported to India to drain swamps and drain swamps to create more arable land for the Indians to use because of population explosion. Uh, because they grow very fast and they have good timber, they were brought to Africa, but they were to be planted in restricted areas. Some are in South Africa, but in South Africa they have also restricted where to plant those trees. So here in Kenya, especially in the western zone, if you come to Kisii nowadays, you cannot be able to see houses because they have been masked or screened away from your view by the trees that are planted there. So these trees are extracting a lot from the environment, and their sheer volumes and the numbers within the environment is creating a menace and even poverty. So we should not only talk about climate change and how to tackle it by planting trees, but which trees do you plant in those areas? Because we have guys who have done Bachelor of Science in forestry from our universities and are the people who should advise us where to plant which tree and where not to plant some trees. But you realize that here in Kenya, it's a trial and error method. Everybody wants to do what suits him or her. We need to have laws and regulations that govern even planting of trees, even planting of crops, because um, it affects the population. If you look at this place, there is a plantation down there of sugar cane. This area used to be a place that maize maize used to be planted there. Because of a sugar in factory that has been um, built on the other side in Enosain, um, most of the people here opted to go and start planting sugarcane. And now there is a shortage of what? Of the staple diet that we eat. That is maize. Nowadays, the 2 kg bag of flour is 220 shillings, and that is outrageous because most of the families are unable to raise $1.5 a day. So it means that they cannot eat a meal, a square meal that is balanced. So as I was saying before I veer off from my main agenda of telling you that we need to protect our environment and ensure that there is sanctity of certain areas where, like this place that I visited, that is very natural, very good. The air is top quality, 100% clean. There is no dust. I'm smelling very clean air. I'm breathing very clean air, and it's only water that is a problem because there is a very small stream down there that these guys use to use the water for domestic purposes and for their animals. But the environment generally, there is no smoke here, there is nothing. It's only a very cool and quiet environment, and I like it. Um, those trees that we call eucalyptus, the government has got to look for a way. People have got to be advised on what to do. They should not wake up one morning and start planting any tree anywhere, anyhowly, because it is going to damage the environment. Like now, the swampy areas that used to be reserves for water, especially during the dry season, to maintain the streams flowing down to the lakes. Nowadays, most of those swamps are dry. Like if you look at the other side down there, there is a swamp that is supposed to be there, but because of the trees that are on the other side, they have drained the water, and it is now suitable for making bricks and even planting sugarcane there. So I want to go down the, the hill and conclude by saying that as a government, and as professionals, we need to espouse an environment that is clean, and we follow the professional advice. Follow professional advice when we are planting trees, so that we plant the right trees at the right place, because every tree has its own right habitat. You cannot pick trees that can be planted in the desert and bring them just because they have some benefits, some very small benefit, and then you destroy the environment altogether. So thank you, and I think we will meet again and talk about how to set goals and meet them, because that is the main aim. You need to know who you are and what you are supposed to do as a young person, as a grown up person, and everybody. Thank you.